it's great to have you here.
Thanks, good to be here.
As president of the American Matthay Association, what do you envision as next steps for the organization?
Sure. The organization, which I've spent this past year being president of, and look forward to one more year in the first term, we are looking to engage better and better with pianists all across the country and in fact across the world. We're looking to grow our membership. And it's a volunteer organization, so this is a relatively small group that has been very passionate about Matthay and his pedagogy, and it's the work of a few people that are really continuing the organization on all volunteer work. And so, as is so often the case with volunteers, the direction the organization will take is in large part due to what individual people's passions, what sort of work do they want to do, what direction do they want to see the organization going in. So I see my job as kind of listening to them and sensing out what sort of work are we excited about, what sort of work is meaningful, and trying to connect that to the larger teaching community in America.
Do you have any little specific things you can talk to us about, or is it still just in the works?
Sure, just ideas. We are preparing, of course, we put on a festival every year, so a conference over several days.
Why don't you give a little plug for the next one?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. This is actually our centennial year, so we are very excited. This is our 100-year anniversary, and we're going to have our festival, at the end of May, so it's going to be May 28th through 31 in Rochester, New York. That's going to be on campus at the Nazareth University, who's gracious enough to host us for that. We just determined our schedule, so we have a lineup of speakers and performers, recitalists, Alan Chow, who's at Eastman School, Mark Anderson, University of British Columbia, and Jihan Guok, who's at University of Dayton. So days will be filled with informative sessions about Matthay's pedagogy, about repertoire that Matthay would have taught, about the lives and legacies of Mattay's famous piano pupils, like Dame Myra Hess, for example. We have a keynote speaker, Jessica Dushin, who just released a biography on Myra Hess. So that's hot off the press. She'll be talking to us about Myra Hess, amongst other things. So it's always a very fun time. It's a conference that is, people who attend will leave knowing every other person who's at the conference. It's small enough and it has this family feeling where people really connect and enjoy seeing the same people year after year.
What about someone that's just learning about Matthay and wants to come? Would there be something for them at this conference too?
Yes.
What would you recommend for them?
I would recommend, if people want to learn more about Matthay, I'd say come get involved with our organization. The best way to do it probably is by attending one of these festivals. Sessions are all across the map. Some people will just play piano music. Other people will talk about piano pedagogy in a larger sense or a more broad sense. But there are sessions dedicated to just Matthay. How did Matthay teach? He wrote many books, as I know you know, that can seem impenetrable sometimes. And so it's often best to be introduced to these concepts by people who have learned it in practice and can demonstrate or show things. And so the afternoon sessions, as I think about the schedule, will be usually 2 to 5 p.m. or 3 to 5 p.m. are the sessions most dedicated to Matthay. And this is again the 28th, 29th, and 30th of May. So there will be plenty of opportunities to learn about this even for the first time.
That's great.